Hey guys, Ross Robertson here, and pulling spinners has literally paid my mortgage. I mean, that's just what I do, is pulling spinners. And the key of a good spinner is having good componentry, and I type most of my own using a lot of different parts, but first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with some good leader line. I actually use fluorocarbon leader line. Costs a little bit more, but you're gonna go through a lot less rigs. And fishing primarily on Lake Erie, I'm using like 20 pound. If you guys are fishing some little inland reservoirs and rivers, you could probably get a little bit lower than that. But the nice thing about having that fluorocarbon is it's so low vis that you can get away with having a little bit heavier pound test, and it's also gonna stand out a lot straighter, and it's gonna be not only a lot durable, more durable obviously, but you're gonna have a stiffer line, so you're gonna have less tangles. As far as the hook setups, I use a lot of single octopus hooks here, and then with a little kind of treble hook follow-up. Some guys will use 2 or 3 singles. That's kind of a personal preference and depending on the situation that you're fishing, but this is one of my favorites. The next thing is beads. We won't talk about color because God, that could just go all day long in a conversation by itself, but the big thing you want to make sure with your beads is, aside from being a little bit of color, you want to make sure that they have enough, because they're really a spacer. And if you notice here, this blade is a number 5 Colorado, that it's going to be above my front hook, because if that blade is covering the front hook, it's kind of like having I don't know if I'd call it a weed guard, but it's an anti-fish catching guard. You don't want to cover that front hook, kind of common sense. But next thing is having a little quick change clevis. So you see how quick I can take this out? This really is going to reduce the amount of rigs that you have to have, because you can switch blade, size, and color so much faster. This one here is a little quick change one, and you see it's got a little hook in it. You're going to want the one with the hook. That makes it a lot easier for the blade to stay in and not get thrown out. And then another one that I like here, this one's a Dutch fork one. This is actually made in Pennsylvania, and that's nice because it has a really thin wire and it rotates really nice, but you can clip on. It's got a little clip, as you can see there, and it's gonna make sure that your blades stay on. At a couple bucks a piece, those blades getting thrown, it's a bad deal. So, lengthwise, I usually kind of spread out a couple hands there. You probably can't see, but 4 to 6 foot. If you're gonna be fishing really shallow or snaggy water, sometimes you're gonna shorten that, and then maybe a little bit longer as you get into some deeper water or maybe a little bit clearer water. Then we kind of just follow it off with the end deal on here. I'll take my little sinker off. Just simply, some guys will tie a loop knot. I really prefer a little crane style or ant swivel. This is a power swivel, just a small one. And that's going to make sure that we get that line twist out. And that is kind of how a spinner gets built. So look online, there's a lot of videos that show you how to tie different knots. I use a couple different ones. The Uni Snow is one of my favorites, but in the winter time or even on the weekends or at night, you can tie up a bunch of these real fast, save yourself a bunch of money, and then also get the rig that you like.